by Rinban Fujimoto.
Good morning, everyone. This morning, because of the Mochitsuki, they've been asked us to keep it relatively short, but then that doesn't matter because I'm never that long anyway. But, there really isn't much to say about Mochitsuki because Mochitsuki, the pounding of the rice for New Year's and such, has really nothing to do with Buddhism. We put it up on the altar because it's, to express our gratitude for having it. But as far as that's a Japanese custom. Today I wanted to point something else out to you. This is an incense burner, right? And one of the things about Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, we often refer to the people as being, well, kind of like receptacles. And that one of the biggest receptacles we have are the incense burners. And I think a lot of you have heard me talk about this before, but an incense burner, okay, everybody take a good look. See, you have the ashes inside, right? You have the ashes inside. I have to do a... Okay. In, other schools of Buddhism, Japanese Buddhism, they stand up the sticks. But in Jodo Shinshu Buddhism, we lay them down, and because the main thing is to do the incense burning, to burn the incense by the incense offering or incense burning. And if you stand it up, if you stand the sticks up, when you put the ground incense on, you can't burn it because you have nothing to burn, right? Unless you're really pretty, pretty sharp, and you can put it on top of a burning stick. But we lay it down. And I mentioned before at other times that one way of looking at this is that the incense that's burning now is only able to burn because of the incense that burned before, the ashes. And one way of looking at this is that dead incense enables the current incense to burn. Right? And this is like it is in human life. Incense is pretty useless unless you light it, But it's enabled to live, come to life, to do what it's supposed to do because of the dead incense before. And in many ways, this is the way it is in human life as well. Okay, we're enabled to be because of those people that have gone before. And but another aspect of this is that those of you who may have gotten, at family homes, you have those little incense burners, and if you get a brand new one, trying to fill it up with enough incense ashes so that you can lay it down and let it burn is pretty hard. The ashes are the best thing to use, because some people say you can use sand or you can use salt, but they take away too much heat so that it goes out right away. But the incense ashes, as long as it's, nice consistency, if it's too packed down, if you just left it in there over the years and years and years and it's collected so much moisture and such, so it's packed down like concrete, it won't help. But if it's used regularly and such, it enables it to burn. But another aspect of this as well is that, it's like human life as well. It's like the incense is like karma, right? When you try to start it off, it's very difficult. You don't get very much each time. The reason I'm burning this is I'm going to quiz you later and see if you can tell where the incense that I've just lit went. If you can tell where this one was and compare it with the ones that were in there before. How much difference does it really make? But, like when you get a brand new incense burner, completely empty, it takes forever to start building up even a thin layer to be able to lay it down. And this is like in human life. When you're first born, a child only has the karmic connections with the mother primarily and the father, just the parents. And once they're born, then there's the doctor, the nurses, and such that come into play. So you start getting more and more karmic connections. And then once you go home, taken home, then if there are any siblings, grandparents involved, then it starts growing a little bit more there. And then as you get older, you start having friends in the neighborhood. And then other people come into play. So your karmic connections grow a little bit more. You start going to school, then there are classmates, there are teachers, there are staff, then there are the classmates' parents, and your circle grows even more and more. Then after that, as you go up in years, siblings of your friends, other teachers, and such, and then you go to like middle school, that the schools are bigger, the classes are bigger, you get more and more people. High school, even more than that. Then in college, and then in working life, your circle gets bigger and bigger and bigger. Your karma gets built up more and more. Those of you who use your incense burners at home regularly know that after a while it starts filling up so much with ashes that every once in a while you got to get rid of some so that you have room for new ones. And this is kind of the way it is with us as well. We don't get rid of them, but we have a hard time keeping track of who people are, where they are, who they are, because there's so many people involved in our lives, right? So many people involved in our lives. And this is showing us that our karma, our karmic conditions, the people that influence our lives, that create our lives and come into play in our lives, grow more and more and more, and it expands, and it's so, it fills us up, right? It fills our lives up. That's what makes our life possible. This is one of the reasons that that term, referring to human beings as being receptacles, is there. Right? We're constantly receiving all the effects, the causes, the conditions of people in our lives. And that's what enables us to be who we are. That's what enables us to think as we do. Another way in traditional Buddhism is, this is what they refer to as, emptiness or non-self, right? Because when you really look at yourself, what is there that you can point to as being totally and uniquely yourself? In your physical form, if you took away the influence of your parents, all the food that you've eaten over the years, the nourishment you've received, what is there? As far as our non-physical self, our thoughts, our emotions, what is there without others? And again, your parents, your friends, your siblings, your teachers, your enemies, the TV that you've watched, the books that you've read, all of the things that you've seen and done and experienced. Without that, what is there? Right? And this is what some schools of Buddhism refer to as emptiness. Right? Because there's nothing that you can really point to and say, this is me and only me. Right? It's all of these causes and conditions coming together and making us who we are. So that part is, to say me means all the causes and conditions that have come together over the years, all that karma that's built up that makes me who I am. So this is in Pure Land tradition, we refer to this as being that which is conditionally called me, right? That which is conditionally called me. So we call this entity me, because I don't want to go say I'm a result of this, these people and such, because just like those little incense burners with too much ashes, I've forgotten a lot of the people that have been a part of my life. But all of them take a part, they take a role, and they make me who I am. And this is what we're being reminded that we are. So when we come up to burn the incense, we're not just going through emotion, but we're reminding ourselves that all these people, all these things have come together to make us who we are now. And to be able to live that life that expresses that gratitude for all these people playing that role is what we need to do. So that is still burning, but how many of you can actually tell how much difference the ashes made? You know, or that incense stick I put in. You can't tell, you know, the effect of one, but all of them together are important. Each one is important because they build up and enable us to live, to experience that life, to have what we do have today. So in that feeling of gratitude, we need to live our lives fully, to express that gratitude to all the people, all the events, all the things that have led up to today. So, again, we are not just a single thing. We're a result of so many different things coming together in just the right way. And to live that life in appreciation and gratitude is what we need to do today. Thank you. If you want to look at it later, you can.
Thank you, Rinban Fujimoto.